Hi everyone, my name is Mathis Stroper, Director of Product at Soda. Today I will give you a product showcase of Soda. Before we do so, let me tell you a little bit more about Soda. So Soda's mission is to empower and incentivize everyone in your organization to share and use reliable, high quality data. We're founded in 2018. We're a bit more than 40 employees worldwide. We have more than 100 customers, and all of us have backgrounds in either data engineering or data management. We are, of course, SOC 2 compliant. We are a partner of the best cloud technology vendors in the modern data stack, such as AWS, Snowflake, and many others. And we also have been recently awarded with, for example, the Modern Data Stack Rocket Ship Awards. Soda helps you with detecting, analyzing, and preventing data quality issues. And we do that by helping organizations moving from a reactive to a preventative data quality approach. So instead of constantly firefighting with the data quality issues, we want to enable you to prevent those issues from happening. We do this by creating observability per team or per data domain, depending on how your organization is set up, to give you a sense of what the situation looks like. We also enable you to set up automated monitoring, to be proactively alerted about things in the data that could potentially lead to issues. We also make it very easy to work together with your data consumers to allow them directly to contribute the data quality requirements in an experience built for them. Next, we enable you to shift left all of those data quality requirements, which means test them much more earlier on. So you can catch those issues before you actually push that new data into your production or consumption environments. By doing this, you can prevent impacting your downstream users. And last, Soda allows you to leverage your existing data governance workflows to oversee the data's quality. Soda integrates nicely within an existing ecosystem. For example, Soda integrates with a wide range of data sources. For example, Snowflake, Databricks, BigQuery, but also SQL Server, Oracle, and many others. Soda is also be able to integrate directly into your orchestration tooling, for example, Airflow, Dexter, and many others. Soda also integrates with the dashboarding tooling, such as Power BI or Looker, so that you can go and build your own custom quality dashboard in your own preferred BI tool. Soda also makes sure that you are being alerted into the tools that you already use on a daily basis, such as Teams or Slack, or can follow up on the resolution of a data quality issue in the tools that you already use, such as Jira or ServiceNow. Soda also integrates with the data catalog tooling, such as Atlan, Elation, Colibra, and many others, to make sure that your data consumers who are using your catalog to find and understand certain data they need to build out their data products can make informed decisions based upon how good or bad the quality of the data is. Let's jump into the actual product showcase. As you can see on my screen, I'm currently logged into Soda. The first thing we need to do to make sure that Soda can start monitoring the quality of your data is set up a connection to your data. We can do so by setting up a new data source. For the demo here, I will open up Soda's demo data source. The first thing we need to do is provide the necessary connection details to set up the connection towards your data source. Soda will connect to your data source using a component which is called Soda Agent, which you can deploy on-premise or within your private cloud if necessary. Soda Agent will take care of the connectivity with your data source. So you can make sure when you deploy it in your on-premise or private cloud environments that no data is leaving your infrastructure. You can see that we need to set up three things when connecting Soda to a data source. First of all, we need to set up which data sources you want to onboard into Soda. Here, in this case, you can see that we're, for example, excluding our temporary tables that might be generated by dbt when you doing transformation. Next, we go and set up which data sets and more specifically, which columns you want to profile. Profiling is used for mainly two purposes within SODA. One, to assist the user who is creating new data quality rules by giving them an understanding how the data looks like. And two, it's used by SODA's recommendation engine to give you suggestions based upon how the data looks like. Last, you go and set up automated monitoring. Automated monitoring will go and look at key characteristics in the data that could potentially lead to issues and automatically alert you about those. Think about, for example, monitoring the volume of your data or monitoring the evolution of your schemas. Once you have done so, you will see that SODA will onboard the datasets as configured and start monitoring the ones where automated monitoring has been applied to. If we go to an example, here in this case, retail orders, we can see that SODA added a row count anomaly detection check automatically. In this case, SODA will have a look at how the row count or the volume of your data is evolving over time and automatically alerting you when SODA identifies a potential issue. Like here in the example, SODA identified that there is a certain unexpected spike in volume. You can also see that you can very easily go and give feedback to the algorithm where, for example, it might be a false positive due to seasonality. Certain metrics might be behaving differently month over month or different in weekdays versus weekends. So you can very easily go and give this feedback where the algorithm will use this to automatically adjust over time. Next, you want to make sure that you can further add additional data quality coverage. SODA works with mainly two personas. One, the data engineers who are, for example, responsible for setting up the necessary ingestion contracts or making sure that the transformations are happening successfully. And two, the data consumers directly, allowing them to contribute their business data quality requirements based upon their data domain knowledge to further increase the trust in the data. First of all, I will show you an example of how engineers can use SODA's data quality collaboration space to set up their necessary ingestion contracts. SODA does this by opening up the discussions within the data quality collaboration space. Here we can see an example where I proposed a new ingestion contract for our sales orders table. Here on screen, you can actually see SODA's DSL, called SODA-CL, SODA checks language. SODA checks language is very powerful and consists out of more than 30 out-of-the-box check types, such as very simple things like doing schema checks or freshness checks or duplicate checks, validity checks, missing checks, but also more advanced use cases like referential integrity or reference data tests, or even more like group by and even reconciliation. You can see that within the collaboration space, I can very easily go and propose a new contract. I can make sure that I can easily go and test them to get a preview of what the results look like. I can either do this by locally running a scan using our SODA library, or I can actually go and test it immediately via the SODA agent. Once I've done so, my team members can go and contribute and we can align on them. And once we made a final decision, we can make sure that this contract gets installed and may be implemented as part of my data pipeline. Another use case might be that I want to make sure that whenever I am ingesting data from my source system, that I'm not losing any data or that the data is not changing drastically while doing so. So if we open up another example, we can see that SODA provides much more advanced use cases, like, for example, the concept of reconciliation, which allows you to compare your source data with your target data and do this on a very fine-grained level. First of all, you can go and compare the actual schemas between your source and target to be alerted when there are certain changes. For example, certain columns might have a different data type in their source and target environments, leading to downstream problems. The second level is where you can go and compare actual aggregated metrics to verify whether the data is still the same or not. For example, you might want to make sure that you're not losing any data. So you want to make sure that the row count is exactly the same. Or you want to make sure that in this case, the average order quantity is exactly the same in our source and target environments. And last, the most detailed validation that you can do is record level reconciliation, which allows you to compare the records in your source with the records in your target based upon a certain key or keys, and make sure that there are no differences. This allows you, for example, to verify that the customer name mentioned on a given order is the same in your source and target environments. Here again, using the collaboration space, I can make sure that the rest of my team can chime in, we can further align on the checks, and once we're fully aligned, we can then go over to the actual implementation. Like I said before, SODA also works together with the consumers of your data, which are very often non-technical people. They can do that easily by opening up a new discussion in SODA and say here, in this case, for example, that we have certain sales report data quality requirements. I can then easily choose which data set I want to use. So in this case, I want to use our fact internet sales data set. I can go and add my colleague Albin so that he can go and help me to further define the checks. And I can go and add the description. For example, an additional rule that I want to be added is that we want to validate that the maximum discount given on a given order is not more than 40%. Once I do so, you can see that again I enter SODA's data quality collaboration space, where Alvin can go and chime in and make sure that we can go and construct the necessary data quality rule. But of course, SODA incentivizes me to go and set up the check myself. And we can do so by making use of SODA's low-code environment, where SODA CL becomes available in the form of lots of out-of-the-box check templates that people can use to very easily go and construct the necessary check. Or they can make use of SODA GPT, which is a powerful extension of SODA, allowing data consumers to define their data quality rules based upon the natural language. So as you can see in the example, we can give our requirement to SODA GPT, which will translate this to production-ready data quality tests written in SODA CL. So I can go and add this and post this to the discussion, which then allows me to very easily go and run the check to validate the actual check logic. Once we do so, SODA will go and translate all of the checks. In this case, we only have one for the demo, into a highly optimized SQL query, which is getting pushed down to the source through the SODA agent, where the query gets executed, and then the preview results get added to the discussion, which allows me to verify whether my check logic was correct or not. So in this case, we can see that we are actually having 0 orders where the discount that was given was more than 40%. Then other team members can actually go and contribute towards my requirements. We might want to make sure that there is a business-friendly name in place, allowing other people to very easily understand what the rule is actually validating. Or we want to make sure that we can add additional metadata, which we can then use further on to, for example, alert the necessary stakeholders. So here we see an example how we can do that. So we can go and define a name attribute or add any other given metadata attribute configured in SODA. Here in this case, for example, we're tagging this check as being very severe when this would actually not be in compliance. Next to SODA's low-code environment, SODA also provides a fully no-code UI experience for your data consumers, which are non-technical, to allow them to contribute their data quality requirements as well. So as you can see on my screen, they will be able to add a new data quality check by following a guided UI wizard, where in the first step, they will need to select which type of check that they want to add. such as a missing, validity, duplicate, or for freshness check. Here, in this case, we will go and add a validity check. So the guided UI wizard will ask me to set up the necessary filtering if I only want to focus on a certain subset of the data, define the actual check logic, where in this case, we're going to validate the publish date format to make sure that that is in a US date format. It will guide me to set up when I actually want to be alerted. So in this case, I want to be alerted when there are more than 10% invalid published dates in this specific data set, and allow me to define any other additional metadata, such as who is owning this check, to which data domain it belongs to, and so forth. From here, I can then easily go and add the check and collaborate on this as part of our collaboration space to make sure that the rest of the team can bring their own perspectives and that we make a decision on how to implement the actual check. For implementation, you can either decide to schedule SODA scans on a given time schedule, such as the daily at midnight, where all of the scans will be automatically executed by SODA agent and the necessary stakeholders will be notified if issues are identified. In case of critical data sets, SODA also enables you to shift left or take all of those requirements and test them much more earlier on. Here in this example, you can see a data pipeline orchestrated by Airflow in which we're ingesting data from our source system, we're transforming it with dbt to a consumable format and publishing that data for consumption and make it available to the rest of the organization. You can see that SODA can be integrated very easily in certain moments in time, like, for example, verifying your ingestion contracts or verifying the success of your transformation, or verifying the business data quality requirements before you actually publish that data to the rest of the organization. And this allows you to catch issues very early on and circuit break the pipeline to prevent that bad data from flowing into your production environments. As you can see in the example here, there are actually certain issues identified as part of our ingestion contract. And we have used the result of SODA to circuit break the pipeline to make sure that that bad data is not flowing further downstream and therefore impacting your the business users. Once a SODA scan has been running, all of the results will automatically be published towards SODA Cloud, and SODA will make sure that the necessary stakeholders are notified. As you can see on my screen, we can go to the checks page, we can filter for the checks as part of our ingestion contract, and we can actually see indeed that there is one particular check failing, where apparently certain products do not have a subcategory defined. As I said, as part of this, SODA will also automatically notify the necessary stakeholders, and SODA does that through a concept which is called notification rules. Notification rules allows you in a very fine-grained way to define which stakeholders need to be notified based upon the metadata that you're defining while setting up your data quality checks. If you open up an example, you can see here that we're going to send all our critical alerts, which are defined where the severity equals critical, to our on-call notification system to wake up people so that they can go and immediately act up on this to make sure that this particular issue gets resolved as soon as possible. So you can go and use any given metadata attribute that you can go and define within SODA, which is fully configurable. And you can then go and select who needs to be notified. So this can be certain users, certain teams, certain Slack channels or Teams channels, or even using our webhook integrations to, for example, send the alerts to our on-call notification system, PagerDuty. Once the users have been notified, they can come into SODA to diagnose what is actually happening. So if we go to this particular check that has been failing, we can see that this has been failing since a couple days. We can go and see that there are, well, actually 209 products which have a subcategory missing. So Soda will not stay only on the metric level. It will tell you in which records exactly this particular issue is identified. So here we see a list of all of the products where the particular subcategory is missing. All of those failing records can either be sent towards Soda, where they become immediately available for you to do your analysis. Soda also has a capability to reroute those failed records back into your own data warehouse, maybe in a different schema or table, so that you can make sure that no record level data is leaving your infrastructure. If we go to the fact internet sales data set that we used before, we can go and have a look at some additional details. Like, for example, I can go and consume the profiling view here, where based upon the data type, so that will go and automatically calculate the relevant metrics for you to better understand how the data actually looks like. We can also see a sample if that is configured, and I can see a more detailed view of all of the checks which are actively monitoring this particular data set. For example, earlier in the demo, we have also set up the necessary monitoring to reconcile the data between our source system and our target warehouse. We can go and have a look at that in more detail. So here you see, for example, that there is an issue identified with the schemas between my source and target. So apparently there are some differences identified a couple days back. So if I go to this particular day where apparently there were 8 issues identified, again, Soda will provide you with the necessary diagnostic information, which is in this case the actual source schema, the target schema, but more importantly, what the actual issues are that are being identified. And here in this case, we can see that, well, certain columns have actually type changes. So we see that certain columns moved from text to money type. This is a very common issue across our customer base, where, for example, certain date fields suddenly become text fields, which break down company reports down the line. Once you figured out what the root cause is, you can then go and create an incident within Soda to keep track of the resolution of this issue. So you can either use the incident management capabilities directly in Soda to go and assign a specific user to go and fix this issue and follow up on this. Or you can make use of Soda's integrations, such as Slack or Teams, where we will open up a collaborative space to work on this as a particular issue, and where all of the updates that are happening around this incident will automatically be pushed towards those channels in Slack or Teams. Or you can make use of our integrations, such as ServiceNow or Jira, where you can actually make use of your existing incident management workflows. And whenever the issue is resolved within those systems, it will automatically be resolved within Soda, and Soda will make sure that the necessary stakeholders are being notified about the resolution of this particular issue. Of course, over time, you want to keep track of how your data quality initiative is going. Using Soda's dashboarding capabilities, you can have a clear overview of what the most critical items are that you need to act upon immediately, what are maybe checks that you need to keep an eye out for, and how does your data health score looks like. Soda will also provide you with an historical overview to allow you to see whether you're improving or not, and also certain activity metrics, such as how many data sets are being monitored, how many checks are in place, and how many users are actually collaborating within your data quality initiative. Of course, again, you can use Soda's metadata to go and create particular views for this dashboard. For example, you might want to go and drill down into a specific team. So here in this case, we can see our data quality dashboard specifically for our sales operations team. All of this data is also available in Soda's reporting data layer, which you can connect to with your own preferred BI tool. This allows you to go and create your own custom quality dashboards depending on the needs of your specific organization. Next to this, Soda also seamlessly integrates with data catalog solutions, such as Atlan, Elation, Colibra, and many others. to make sure that all of this information becomes available to a wider range of individuals, and that we can enable your data consumers who are looking to find and understand data to build out certain use cases to make informed decisions based upon how good or bad the quality of the data is, or to make sure that the users who are consuming a given report, that they can be 100% sure that the data that is being used in this report can be fully trusted, and therefore the insights that they're gathering from those reports can be used, for example, to drive key business decisions. Please watch our specific catalog videos to go and see how the actual SODA and catalog integrations work in real life. You can easily get started with Soda by signing up for our free trial on our website, soda.io. You can learn more about our solution in our help center available on docs.soda.io, or you can join our Slack community to collaborate with other users who are using Soda's data quality platform. Thanks for joining us and watching Soda's Products Showcase.